And so the next song you wanted to talk about here is called Uncommon Man. So go ahead and share the story behind Uncommon Man.
So Uncommon Man was written a few years ago as well. We released this one a year ago in May, right smack dab at the very beginning of the pandemic. We made that bold decision to do that. But when my friend Courtney Baumbacher came up to me with the idea, this is the first song we ever wrote together, and we write together all the time. I'm actually writing with her this afternoon when we get done here. We write together all the time, and she came to me with this idea, though, for the first one and said, I want to write a song about my daddy, and I want to call it Uncommon Man. Nobody gets what I mean by that, but I think you might. And I said, oh, heck yes, I do. Because she's from a dairy farm in western New York, and I'm from a farm in western Kentucky. So we automatically bonded over both being farm kids. And so this wasn't one of those writes that took, an hour, because we wanted it to be absolutely perfect for our dads. That was our main goal, just to play it for them and have a song for our families. And it took us a few writes, and we finally got it. But it became just one of my family's favorite songs. Anytime my dad got to come to a show or got to be anywhere, he was like, will you play that song for me? And it started becoming, fans were requesting it too, which was really cool. And we came, fast forward to May 2020, we were getting ready to release a new single, and I just had this gut feeling that it wasn't right. I was like, we don't need a sassy song. We don't need this right now. The world's shut down. Nobody knows what's happening. Like, we're all locked in our houses. So we had a team meeting. I sent them over 3 or 4 songs, and I'd sent them 3 sassy songs, but not as sassy as we had gone, because, that's part of my brand. And at the very end, I sent over a really rough work tape of Uncommon Man. And I was just like, by the way, I've had this for a few years. Let me know what y'all think. So the next day, we jumped on a Zoom, and my producer looked right at me, and he goes, what do you think the single is? And I was like, I ain't saying nothing, because I don't want what I say to be what none of y'all say. I want to see y'all's opinions. And they just went one by one. There's about 6 of them on there, and they all went, Uncommon Man's a single. And I was like, oh, okay, good, because that's what I said too. But so then we ended up dedicating it to all the essential employees, all the first line workers, the people who aren't necessarily always in the spotlight, but needed to be in, especially in the time of the world we were in. And I'm so thankful for how the song has been perceived, and how the world has taken this and just ran with it. We're almost at 700,000 streams completely independently, no promotions, no anything on that. And we got top 24 on Music Row, and like number 41 on Billboard. We were almost top 40 Billboard. So we're very, very thankful for this song. And like I said, we were just 2 farm girls that wrote it for our dads, and we didn't know that it was going to get released and that all these things would happen with it, but we're so thankful for it.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people can definitely relate to that song.
And we're very, I still get messages to this day, people telling me the stories about their uncommon men and uncommon women. Yeah. We were very thankful we got to do a lyric video for this song. We didn't get to do a full production video, but we did a lyric video, and we included pictures from all of my fans, which was really cool. They all submitted. I think we ended up with like 150 submissions. People with, one person or multiple people. And the thing that I loved the video, I wish I could have included all the stories, though, that were sent. From the granddads that, retired from the military to come home and raise their kids, and the single moms that work midnight so they can take care of their kids during the day. I just wish I could have included all those stories, and maybe one day we'll have a behind the lyric video or something like that. But I was very thankful for everyone's stories and all the pictures that we got to include, and it just made the song even more special than it already was.
Yeah, I would imagine incorporating the fans' experiences is particularly special.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, and hopefully one day we'll be able to do that with that one.
And that's kind of an emotional song, though. Like, how do you kind of hold it together? Because I don't know if I could do it.
Mm-hmm. So I've sang it so many times now. Every song you get used to them. I only have one song that I've ever written that I still can't make it through without crying. And it was just a very, very emotional one. But, so I think like the first time I ever played that song for anybody other than my family, it was actually a family event. But what we do is my grandmother has a hayride, every October, and we invite all the neighborhood, all the friends, all the family, everything. So there's probably 100 people there. And I was singing it, and I got through it. My dad was sitting in the back tearing up, and then we had this farmer who's very well respected in our community. I had never met him before, but he's worked with my daddy. And he came up to me, and he goes, "You don't know who I am, but, you know, you've been to my farm and all this stuff." And he's like, "You sang that Uncommon Man song," and I'm just sitting here bawling. That was my daddy. That's my son. That's how I hope my son looks at me. And he was like, "You've got something special with that song, honey. You need to do something with it." And I was like, "Oh, wow." You know, because like I said, we just wrote it for our immediate families, for our dads. And so the fact that somebody came up and said that to me the first time, it made it, it was already a super special song, with the fact that it was special to other people as well. Just made it that much more heartwarming and, you know, important to me.
I would imagine so. Yeah, writing music that touches people's lives is, I would imagine, something very special.
Yes, it definitely is. And, you know, that's what, I had a mentor in the music industry early on. We still work with him, and he said, you know, they might not know it, but people come to shows and they listen to music to be changed. It's a subconscious thing. They don't realize that they're either looking for healing, they're looking for happiness, or, you know, something that's going to help them. And that's what your job is as a musician. And so everything we try to do, we try to help somebody in some situation, whether it's see how somebody loves you for who you are, or appreciating those who don't get appreciated as much. And sometimes we have those fun ones that don't mean anything. You just have fun with it. But then those are still changing people, because it's a laugh. It's happiness. It's getting them out of where they could have been when they walked in the show. It's getting their mind off of everything outside the doors, or outside of their car where they're listening to their music, you know.
Yep. Music is, sometimes it's transformative, and sometimes it's just fun.
Exactly.